Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to talk about the first quarter, so Q1 of 2023. We're talking about the profit retriever, we are talking about our portfolio, we are talking about the profits made that we have done in the first 3 months, and it's looking really good despite a couple of hiccups that we had here earlier in the month of March. So we are over all that. But on top of this, we actually also wanted to start a bit of a new video. Maybe it's going to be a monthly one, maybe it's going to be a quarterly one here, where we're going to take a closer look at some of all the signals that we have. We do normally enter post out so that we, similar to what you have here, basically every single week we are posting the results from the profit retriever, and we are just adding on the top fives because we have so many in there now that it is difficult to cover every single one of them. On top of this, we obviously also do this for the month of March, and that is again to try and give you a bit of an update on exactly how we are progressing, and also exactly which signals you should have a closer look at, which ones you might want to follow, which ones you might, if you are trading yourself and not using the coupling service from Expert Forex, you can actually use some of our signals here also, saying, well, Bo is doing quite well on the US CAD or the Euro Japanese. It looks very good, more than 20% here per month. Maybe I should start testing all these ones here too. But we're going to go in a bit more depth here also today because we have a new quarterly report, Excel report here that we want to share with you. And we actually got quite surprised ourselves when we had a look at some of the results and what we could actually find and basically discover through all this. Now, this is nothing secret, so everything that we have added here within the platform itself and the profit retriever, since we have been trading this for more than 12 months now, we have everything freely available to everybody on our website. And you don't even have to give us your address or anything, simply just log into the hightechinvestment.com site here. And we'll jump over there in a second again to just see exactly what you can get out of it and where you can find the data I'm going to show you here today, which for sure will surprise you, because the profits and the stability of the profit retriever itself can be difficult to find sometimes on a weekly basis, and you normally have to look at it at least on a monthly basis. This time around, as we said, what you're going to see today is a quarterly basis, and that is really painting a clear results of how this profit retriever is actually working, all the strong sides of it, and obviously there's still a few weak ones that we also have to cover, and we cover in a lot of the different video material that we send out on this particular one. So let's jump over to the website for a sec and see exactly how you can combine what we are looking in this video for today. You can actually put it together yourself. And obviously you can see that we have exactly used our own website to gather all the details. When you do arrive at our website, it's going to look like this. Under the portfolio of opportunities, you basically scroll down and you'll find both the coupling service trading links here and everything on the profit retriever on the other side if you're trading it yourself. So simply click this one. And here you will get all the details and information. You can also see here that the monthly results are actually on top. So these are some of the first things that you will see. The month of March, as I just showed you here before. So it's very clear. And you can go in and have a look and see which is the ones that are the best at the moment. And then on top of this, we have a large range of video material, both showing the positive sides of a lot of profits and also some of the hard lessons learned, the way we set up our different set files, different things and strange phenomena that is actually happening sometimes with the EA. Because we have been trading this in such a long time, we know exactly how this should and should not work, and we obviously share everything we can with you, exactly how to tutorials that are in here also, and you can basically follow everything from our first steps. On top of this, we also have the weekly videos in here. We normally just keep 4 of them updated here. And you can see the last week, which is week 13, we had in here. Again, showing you the top 5 EAs, which one is the ones that are actually doing the best at the moment. And you can then go and have a closer look at the individual signals to see if this is something that you want to copy. Now, we want to give you the best chances of actually succeeding because the Forex market is extremely difficult. And that is also why we have added in a few details when it comes to Alex and some of his experience and knowledge, and videos are also here in abundance to make sure that you get the best basically experience with it and you are well dressed to start any type of trading. On top of this, you will see here also this particular link here. That is our full portfolio. At the moment, there is 25 EAs in there. They are changing sometimes. We are removing some that we don't really like because they're not progressing the way we want them to. But most of the time we can actually get them to work, and then we just simply add new ones again. Sometimes it's a different trading strategy with the same type of currencies. Other times it could be a different lot sizing, things like this that we are trying out over long periods of time. And that is some of the things that we share with you. On top of this, there's also obviously a bit of an alert, because a lot of people think that they should just go in and trade these EAs for $10,000 all the way through, because that is what we do. And we have to again mention that you have to be very, very careful. And you also have to understand there's a difference in between how the profit retriever is working. When you are, for example, talking about trading metals and index trading, that is a very difficult thing. And this is not normally for beginners, because again, lot sizing is a lot different from broker to broker. So they can vary quite a bit. And on top of that also, the lot sizing is a lot bigger than you would normally have on normal currency pairs. And that is why also we recommend a lot of times for metal and indexes, you need to go up to somewhere around the 30,000 mark. We on our account has shown that we can trade it with a $10,000 account even from the beginning. But obviously, again, you have to take your own precautions. It is your own trading experience, and that means obviously that you're responsible for your trading and anything that happens to it itself. We can only recommend that you follow our trading guidelines here, and obviously also Expert Forex's. And the things that you see in here of the profit might not necessarily be what you're going to get in the future either. So please be careful before you set all this up. On top of this, also for the Forex currency, we also recommend a minimum of $20,000 or 200 cents accounts. We know again that a lot of people are just adding the 10,000 in, and that is quite fine. You can even do that on the copy link service. It's entirely up to you. It's your portfolio, it's your trading, and it's obviously also your responsibility. But if you are into the copy link service, you can actually dial down the lot factor so that you don't have to add an additional amount of money in here. Now, everything we have, as I mentioned here, on the portfolio, you can also find on individual links, and you can see them here. You can basically click on them. It will take you to the FXBlue sites. And on top of this, we even provide you also with some details on how you can buy the Profit Retriever, the Expert Forex homepage, how to sign up for the premium forum. If you need a VPS, we have links to this, and also one of the brokers that we like to use that has the best recommendations and what we are actually using for some of our live accounts. They are all in there. So anything that you will see now on the Excel I'm going to share with you is basically come out of simple things of clicking these links. It takes you to the FXBlue site here. And from here on, it will then provide you with all the graphs, all the details in here. Now, we have just picked a random link, which seems to be Euro-Japanese, and it's link 54. This is actually one of the ones that is underperforming. And when I say underperforming, it is only doing monthly returns average of 7.5%, so it might be a bit low. You can see 356 days, so it's almost a year now we've been trading this. And it has a beautiful curve all the way through here, so it has done extremely well. On top of this, you can also see the equity. Let's see how that looks like. That is a nice one. The biggest one was actually early on. So, and obviously since then we have made a lot of changes and arrangements to these particular signals, and it has been just going up, up and up, which is basically what you want to see at the end of the day. Even has a nice positive profit at the moment, just going into the weekend here. The account has more than doubled, And on top of this, all you have to do is go to the stats in here, and you will find again some of the same details. You can go in on a weekly basis. You see there's quite a few details on how it's doing. So it's been doing quite well. As we mentioned again, monthly, you can then take all these, you can put it in your own Excel, but this is what we've done. We've basically taken the last 3 months here. So for the EA itself, added it into the Excel we're now going to go through. And we've done that for every single of our EAs that you're going to have a look here on the website itself. So with all of the signals now basically copied over to this particular Excel, we get it to look like this. And what we have here is basically column A is all the different currency pairs. So both on the metal and index size here also, you can see them all the way down here. And you can see also the ones that has a little hashtag 2 on this particular one is also signals that we have previously had in, and we have now done some modifications and are actually running both of them right now and continue to expand on this. On top of this, we have on link B, you'll also see the link. So 98C, 53C, these are basically referring over to the coupling service for Expert Forex and Alex here, and where you have some individual accounts still here. That has not been added to the coupling service yet. You can see this one has only started off with some results in March, and you also have some Euro USD down here. So as always, we continue to run a range of items in here. And when they're good enough, we will add them to the portfolio. And then from there on, you will enter the coupling service when we are good and ready and we think the signals are stable. On top of this, we obviously have January. So the month of January is here. So you can see back then, there was about 23, I think, back then. And at the end of the day, it made about 30,000 or 13.72% overall for all the different accounts in here. So on the D link, it's February. We also had a very good month. Again, you can see a lot of the ones here into the thousands. And on top of this, we did have a good month. There's one in minus, which is the Aussie 200, and we actually covered that in a previous video. It had nothing to do with the account going broke the next month here. This has actually something to do with the strange phenomena video that we put out here, where we had a bit of a minus, and we normally don't see that too often with the profit retriever overall, but we did, and that also made sure that we only made $25,912 for the month of February, or 11.27% overall. And then in March, which we just finished here, it looked very good. We were looking forward to actually making more than 200,000 in the first year with the profit retriever through our portfolio. But things went a bit wrong. As you can see below here, we had two currencies, the CAD Swiss francs, that basically took a margin call. The account is not out, and I believe I've mentioned before that I think we will get this back again. So it is still trading, it is still moving, so let's wait and see for that. And the Aussie 200 account simply crashed, unfortunately. So even as you can see, without the massive more than 15,000 in loss, well, March, the month of March here, we actually came out with $13,360 plus. And obviously it was a disappointing month with 5.14%, but at the end of the day, it's all about limiting the losses here. And we didn't really have an overall loss when we are trading the full portfolio. Obviously, yes, we wouldn't like to have this happen too often, but as we mentioned before, when you are trading the profit retriever, you should expect, especially when you get to about 20 accounts, you should expect at least one of them to blow every 3 months. Obviously, we would prefer if they didn't, but this is the Forex market. A lot of things happened, and as you might know, here we had a lot of banking issues starting in US, spreading over to Europe. And it had a lot of influence on multiple currency pairs all over. So you always have to be very wary, and that's also why we sometimes ask you to actually trade this with a bigger account, because it's very difficult to make sure that everything is covered. Now, F is the total sum. And as you can see, even with the 3 months here, and we had the loss of more than 14,000 for those particular 2 accounts here before, we actually in the portfolio itself made more than $69,459, or more than 30.2% in total, which is great because again, the portfolio in here is one we are trading. We're not necessarily live trading all these. We are, as always, trying to take the best ones here, and that's what this video is all about today. We are looking at the accounts. We are looking at all the accounts we are trading live. So we have back tested them. We are now forward live testing them, and then from there on we can basically see which ones we actually want to put our real money into motion, which ones are the most stable ones, and that's what all these weekly posts, monthly posts, and now also this particular video here on a 3 months, you can actually really see what is happening. And on G we have the percentage. There's one account after 3 months, which is the Aussie Japanese link 98. That is also the most aggressive link that we used. We actually used one of Expert Forex links when he had a video back in December. It was a high risk with a high lot size. Since then we have changed it, but unfortunately the account is still in a bit of a heavy drawdown. We do hope and expect it's gonna come out of it again. And we have already made some changes. You will find further down the line here that I believe it's line 16. There's a new one and it's doing a lot better, also with half the lot size or even less. And these are all the percentages that we have in here. And you can see that the ones that hasn't really crashed out are still making 6 to 8%. So over the quarter itself. So that is really good. So yes, we have taken some losses, we've taken some hits, but overall you cannot say that you are not happy with 69,000. So after 3 particular months, and if you times that up by 4, so then you are basically ending up with more than $250,000 trading all these all together. Now there's obviously a way to do this again, and remember, I always post the top 5 in here. And if you have a look at that, and obviously it's not everybody who has that amount of money, you take the money that you have, you put it on a normal account or you put it on a send account, and you then take the top 5, the top 10, whatever it is that you want to do. And if you would have done that just with $50,000 instead, and you would have taken the top 5 that we have off here, this would have been the profit you would have had in here. So you can see all of these. So top 5 has done more than 50% in the last quarter. And on top of this, you can see the results for just trading those 5 is $33,797 or 67.59%. And that is truly astonishing. And obviously, that is the reason why we always have a look at the top 5, so that you can get a good idea exactly which ones to put your money on, because obviously not everybody's got $250,000 to just add into the portfolio itself and then sit back. You can see that on average, it has actually done, even with the losses we have in here, it has actually done 10% a month, which is astonishing enough because there's not many traders that can continue to provide such a result over time. So, but a lot of people get very, very greedy, and that's why they end up only taking the top 5 in here. And as you can see, doing that might not be the best way, because you can have the Aussie Japanese that we had here was a high risk account. You can see that on the lot size itself. And the US 30 is an index where, again, you need more money to basically accommodate for it, because you cannot reduce the lot size similar to what you have on the normal currencies. And then we actually also have Bitcoin USD, and it was part of the linking service in the beginning, but we decided to take it off because we didn't really want to get this mixed up. We do feel that most currency pairs has a top and bottom when we talk about the Forex market, and not necessarily Bitcoin has that. It has done very, very well, as you can see. I mean, for March, it did $2,285, which is great. It is up in the top 5. And if you want this to come back on, please send us a comment in the video description below, or send us an email, and we will then consider, depending on how many actually wants this one back. And you can then link up to it again. but we just took it off because we thought at the time it was a bit too risky. Right now it's doing quite well. It has been behaving, so it might be time to put it back overall. The next thing you can see from the Excel itself, if we just highlight some of these, you'll actually see that there's 1 month here, which is Bitcoin below the 1,000, but every single month you normally have, or over the last 3 months, you have multiple currency pairs that is above. We have to go all the way down to silver here to be below 1,000 for all 3 months. But all these in the top here is basically one time or another up more than 10% a month if we are looking at the $10,000 account scenario here. So they're doing extremely well. But even if we look at the bottom parts of them, you can see there's quite a few that has 1,000 in here. Some of them which you can say is underperforming. They are still doing somewhere between $300 and $500 or $600, which is definitely not bad overall. They are producing in that quarter. You can see for the ones that hasn't crashed, I mean, they are doing 6%, 8%, 11, 15, 17, 18, 23%. So there is quite a few of them. And if we have a look, we can see that all these accounts that I just highlighted here is basically above 30%, so more than 10% a month. And that is what you want to look at when you want to either develop your own signals to see which ones are working quite well, or if you want to go in and copy some of the trading links in here. Obviously, again, here there's more than 10, so it is a good way of starting off. And then maybe also go in on some of the lower risk. So that is the change again of doing the portfolio. You have to build it up for a couple of high risk ones, a lot of medium ones, and then maybe a couple of minor ones in here to try and spread the risk and spread the joy overall. So as you can see, the profit retriever is doing extremely well. So even when we had some huge losses, which we really haven't seen in that amount before since we started off. So it's actually good to show when things are really bad, and then they're actually not that bad. Obviously, this is a new type of video where we might want to do this on a monthly basis or maybe on a quarterly basis. It will all be up to you, of course, also. So please give us comments below if you think that this type of video, shorter videos that goes less into the technicalities, but simply show the results over a short or medium period of time. If that is something you would prefer, together with the post that we are also doing, to give you a better idea of which ones, which signals to look for, which ones you might want to trade in the future. So we hope and try to make things easier for you, and understand also that the profit retriever is actually an awesome EA. It is doing extremely well. And we do get a lot of people saying, well, it's going to crash at some point or another. And we have never said it won't, because it's the Forex market. Things will go wrong. There's no doubt about it. But we think that we have a very good way of approaching the market and approaching our risk. You, obviously, again, as an individual trader, you have to find and manage your own risk and how much you want to trade in here. Just make sure that you are not using money that you need for day-to-day stuff like food or other necessities at the moment. They're expensive enough as it is at the moment. And please make sure that you give us a thumbs up, a like, and don't forget the comment, so we know if this is the type of video you want to see in the future. So I hope to see you on one of my future videos, maybe one of these ones. Bye-bye.